when the real numbers came out, I turned out to be right, but I haven't.
You turned out to be right, but then there's another problem. Unreported crime is way up because people have lost. Look, the morale that the police department has in a lot.
I hate this argument, dude. Unreported crime is not fucking murder or rape is actually an unreported crime, but that's historically been an unreported crime, unfortunately. So the consistency in which people don't report rapes have not shot up. What they're talking about with respect to unreported crime is like minor crime, petty theft, things of that nature. How the do they know unreported crime is up if it's unreported? Because there's a national survey conducted. There is always a national survey conducted on what kind of have you reported a crime that has taken place. Like this is a pretty common thing. There's one of the many methods of figuring out what crime looks like in the country. The problem there, however, is that they try to make it seem like these massive crimes are going unreported and going unsolved when that's not the fucking case. Ultimately, unreported crime is up, but even then, it's not like significantly higher than normal years. Unreported crime is way up, so an unprovable claim? No, it's not an unprovable claim. Oh my God, guys, there is a national, I forget what it's called, but I think it's called the National Survey of Crime Victimization Data, okay? I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Hold on. The National Crime Victimization Survey, previously called the National Crime Surveys, has been collecting data on personal and household victimization through an ongoing survey of nationally representative sample of residential addresses since 1973. The survey is conducted by the Bureau of Justice Statistics. And they ask people, have you been victim of a crime? Have you seen a crime? Have you experienced a crime and didn't report it? It's just bullshit anyways. A huge reason for the increase of unreported crime is hyper-focus on everything being criminal media. That part is also a problem with the analysis here, for sure. Yes, domestic violence and sexual assault is one of the most underreported, underinvestigated, and underprosecuted batch of crimes against people. That is absolutely correct. It's just not a new metric, is what I was simply stating. And even then, in 2023, there were 22.5 violent victimizations per 1,000 persons aged 12 or older in the United States, which was similar to the 2022 rate. The rate of violent victimization, excluding simple assault for males, decreased from 9.5 to 6.9 per 1,000. So even on the crime victimization data, it's actually not, it's actually readjusted back to normal rates that it was before the fucking blip, post-COVID bump. U.S. violent and property crime rates have plunged since the 1990s, regardless of the data source. Violent crimes per capita has plunged with a little baby blip. Violent victimizations per 1,000 people have also plunged with a blip. Property crimes are down. Property victimization is down. That's it. It's just the truth. So even on the National Crime Victimization Survey dashboard, you will see that robbery victimizations that occurred are a smaller percentage of robbery victimizations that occurred in 2023, 42%, than in 2022 were reported to the police. So what they're saying is people are less likely to report robbery claims to the police than they were the year prior. So crime is actually unimaginably high, but people aren't doing anything. The issue here is it's actually directly the fault of the police. Virtually every single person in this chat, I'm sure, at a certain point in their lives have actually had to deal with cops in this regard. A crime has occurred where someone stole your phone or someone stole this or that, okay? And you went to the cops and they were like, yeah, dog, nothing we can do about it. Sucks to suck. It's happened to me. I used to be a fucking broke boy. And back when I had a phone and losing a phone was of ginormous consequence to me, a massive financial penalty. I went to the cops. I was like, yo, my phone got stolen. I know where it is. Can you go and retrieve it? They were like, no. And ever since then, I'm like, okay, when shit gets stolen, there's not really much you can do. That's not because, there's woke police officers out there that are like, nah, we love criminals. It's because they're fucking ginormous dipshits with massive fucking salaries and Nordic-style pension plans that are ultimately seen as infallible, that get to do whatever the fuck they want with no repercussions whatsoever, and we don't even expect them to do their fucking jobs. That's the problem. We have a massive problem with policing in this fucking country, And yet dumb Americans still think it's like one of the best institutions that we have to offer. It's so goddamn frustrating. And it's not about like abolishing the police, okay, in its entirety and assuming that society will be fine without any sort of like representation that there are rules and, you know, there's some sort of like some semblance of law and order. The problem is the people that are supposed to do that, their presence does not invoke law and order. Their presence invokes lawlessness and disorder. But many people don't realize that because we have a shit ton of pro-police media and everyone just thinks that they're fucking awesome. And the media rarely ever covers their criminal activities in the same vein as they would if a bunch of people are doing crime that are poor. I want cops to do their fucking jobs, okay? I don't want them to dick around in a fucking subway station, you know, playing Candy Crush or whatever. I don't want their presence in every fucking aspect of American existence. I want them to actually do their fucking jobs when necessary. You know, detective work, that sort of shit. Solve crimes, retrieve stolen assets, things of that fucking nature. And I promise you, they don't need $7 quintillion fucking dollars a day to be able to accomplish this feat. Their budgets have expanded, their toys get shinier, and yet they are just genuinely god awful at doing their fucking jobs. As the city of LA goes broke, one of the many questions we get is, where are our tax dollars going? The city just started a new fiscal year, and if you want to know how the mayor and a majority of city council increased or decreased department's operational budgets, see below. Another $126 million to the police, baby. What have we taken away from? Cultural Affairs, Contract Administration, Animal Services, Department on Disability, Economic and Workforce Development Council, Transportation Engineering, City Clerk Mayor, Civil Human Rights and Equity, Youth Development, taken away from the zoo. Street lighting, City Administrative Officer, Public Works, Information Technology Agency, General Services, Sanitation, Fire, Street Services. I can't seem to tell what the problem is here. I just can't. It's like that old meme where it's like, I have $35, or no, what is it? Like, please, someone help me make this budget work. Yeah, this is it. Food, $200. Data, $150. Rent, $800. Candles, $3,600. Utility, $150. Someone who is good at the economy, please help me budget this. My family is fucking dying. This post is 2 years old. I've since lost custody of my children and my wife left me. Still wild about candles. And you want to know where a lot of this money is going to, for the record, with the cops? It's not even going to their shiny toys. It's going to payouts because they use those shiny toys on the unsuspecting population. They brutalize the population. And then, of course, people are like, well, I'm going to sue you now. And then they do. And then the city's like, oh, we got to pay off these people. That and overtime. I know. Great stuff. Friendly reminder, liability claim payouts aren't taken out of the budgets of the individual city department that gave rise to the liability. Instead, they mostly come out of the general funds, which is mainly used to fund city services and resources for Los Angelinos. So it still comes with the broader city funds. How the fuck did we get here? Oh, we're talking about Donald Trump brought up police and you activated my trap card.
A lot of these cities where they've done this defund the police bullshit.
Right.
The morale of these poor cops, it's fucking horrible.
Yeah, dude, it's the fucking morale of the cops. See, I need you guys to understand something, okay? The reason why they have to make this argument is because we have given them everything. So they can't be like, oh, the budgets are not enough. That's why they're just like underfunded. They can't say that. So they have to find another reason. They simply cannot say that policing as a fucking institution is fundamentally flawed, both historically and in contemporary society in the United States of America, and that they need accountability, they need more transparency, and they actually need to do their fucking jobs. Nobody wants to say that because, once again, due to a shit ton of pro-police media, due to our understanding of the police, due to the fact that a lot of wealthy people also like the police, they see them as like the line of defense against them and the fucking poors. Most people have a generally positive attitude about the police. This is true. It's actually very frustrating. So in a situation like this, people cannot comprehend that this supposedly infallible institution is actually dog shit. They don't do their fucking jobs. So they have to look for an alternative reason. What could it be? You can't say it's the budget because in every fucking township, cops take up the largest percentage of the fucking budget. So what could it be? Oh, it's because we're being too mean to them. We're being too mean to them, and that's why they just simply can't do their jobs.
Yeah, it's the dumbest idea of all time. But what they've done is they've made these cops feel terrible. They're like good cops. I think cops are just like everybody else. Most of them are great. It's like everybody else. But if you run into one carpenter,
he used to be way more anti-cop, by the way. When he was like more of a libertarian, he was way more anti-cop. Now he's such a fucking rich asshole Republican pussy. He's like, oh, the cop feelings are really fucked up right now.
And he does a shitty job in your house. Right. You say carpenters fucking suck, but they don't suck. Most of them are great, and that's the key thing with cops. But the point is, like, they did all of these things in this very foolish way, and these cops are suffering the consequences of it. And so, subsequently, what happens is a lot of crime is unreported. A lot of crime, like you call the cops, they're too big.
Yeah, Joe, this is not something that you can understand personally, given that you're worth like $7 quintillion. But most normal people in their day-to-day interactions with cops, it's not good, okay? They're not exactly unimaginably wealthy comedians, so the only time they talk to a cop is when they're drunk at their fucking comedy show in the goddamn comedy store that they own in the middle of fucking Austin, Texas. It's usually them getting pulled over in the worst moment of their fucking lives, okay? Their shit sucks. Life is ass. You fucking spilled coffee all over your shirt on the way to fucking work. And now a cop is fucking bothering your ass about a busted ass taillight that you couldn't pay for. And now you're going to get extra punished for it. Most people know cops as, you know, in their day to day, most people, when they interact with cops, unless they have fucking family members, it's usually in a shitty circumstance. Okay. You're in your lowest moment. And now this guy's coming over to collect revenue for the fucking for the locality. It's the worst shit of all time. You're like, this fucking sucks. Or something of yours got stolen and you foolishly called the cops to be like, hey, this thing that is, you know, very important to me got stolen. So they come over, if you're lucky, that is, because nowadays they don't even fucking show up. But they come over and they go, oh, I guess we can't do anything about it. Sorry. And then they move on. They are a part of the insurance process. That's it. Their goal there is to write a report so you can give it to the insurance and hope that you can retrieve at least the monetary value of the thing that was stolen. That's it.
Busy, they can't even get to you. Oh, your house got broken into? Sorry. You know, it doesn't even make a report. There's a lot of people that they just give up.
It's so sad what's happened. And I'll tell you what, I go to police funerals, and we went to one in Long Island. I visited the family in Long Island, a very big deal. It's so dangerous. People don't realize the car, dark windows, pull over. He's a gentleman. Please pull over. Door opens. Guy comes out firing.
First of all, policing, not the most dangerous job, not even barely in the fucking top 20 of dangerous professions. Just so we understand, that's fucking bullshit. They're lying. They always lie about this shit. But in terms of, being a pizza delivery driver, significantly more dangerous. Being a carpenter is significantly more dangerous. Being a delivery driver is significantly more dangerous. Being a landscaper is significantly more dangerous. Lineman, electrician. Are you dumb? No, my friend, I'm not. I mean, I guess I am. I am actually pretty dumb. But in this issue, I think I know a little bit more than you do. I suspect. And the only reason why I say this is because there's statistics for this sort of thing. I work in construction, is definitely not. Yeah, construction is a more dangerous. Yeah, helpers, construction trades, aircraft pilots and flight engineers, drivers, sales workers and truck drivers, refuse and recyclable material collectors. Now, having said that, they're fucking heavily militarized. None of these jobs, you could not have a logging worker run around and just fucking dome people. That is civilian occupations. What do you think policing is? I'm not going to make fun of you for assuming that policing would not be a part of the civilian occupation because of how militarized the police is. But I just want you to know, dude, do you hear yourself? What is happening? Why are people saying this shit? Please shut the fuck up, Hasan. Nope, just dumb, dude. It's okay. Dude, do you hear yourself? Guys, I'm showing you facts. What is happening? Next thing, they're going to say line of duty deaths. Okay? Even when you look at line of duty deaths, most of the fucking line of duty deaths, I'm not super brushed up on my stats off the top dome right now. But usually, it's not actually fucking cops being shot, okay? In COVID, it was COVID. COVID was the #1 line of duty death killer. It was the biggest cop killer of all time. None of those dumb fucks wanted to take the fucking vaccine. They fucking died, okay? Heart disease is another line of duty death. Traffic accidents, massive fucking contributor to line of duty death. It's not like cops are constantly under fire nonstop. It's just that's TV. That's television. Television is telling you this. That's why you think it, okay? Most cops also are not even working in fucking high stress environments, okay? They're working in like rural townships where they don't do anything. That's where a lot of the people actually love their cops too, by the way. A lot more than they do in like a place like LAPD. Oh shit, it went up to 25? It's not even in the fucking top 20 now? They used to be in the top 20 at least. I think it was like 19 or something. And now they're 22. God damn. Working as a police officer about 4.1 times as dangerous compared to the average job nationwide. Now remember something, okay? Would you think it appropriate if logging workers 33 times more dangerous than the average job? Would you think it's appropriate if logging workers were just like running around and could just like dome you? Well, after all, they have a very dangerous job. No, of course not. You'd be like, what the f? Imagine your delivery driver comes over to your house and just fucking shoots you in the head. And when people are like, whoa, what the f? That's crazy. I can't believe you just did that. That's murder. You're going to jail for life. The guy was like, sorry. Don't you know? I have the 7th most dangerous profession in the United States of America. That would be psychotic. But with cops, we're like, nah, that's valid. But yeah, if you look at officer fatality numbers, what the 19 cops were beaten to death total. 1 in 2023. 20 automobile crashes, 118 struck by vehicles, and 46 were shot, which, by the way, doesn't even count. That adds a couple things that they do with this data as well. Number one, they add canine deaths onto this statistic, just so you understand. I don't know if they changed it, but they used to. Number two, there are a lot of friendly fire incidents that is also added to the statistic. Job-related illness, 24. Some of these are 9/11 still. First responders and cops from 9/11. 46 were shot, some friendly fire, in 2023. 8 were struck by vehicles. Sorry, not 118 total. 8 were struck by a vehicle. I was wrong. Dude, it's still a top 25 dangerous job. I agree with you on plenty, but this is a silly point in my opinion. No, it's not, because everybody acts like cops have the most dangerous job of all fucking time. And I'm not saying that policing is not a dangerous job. It certainly is. A big part of the problem for why policing is a dangerous job is because of our fucking idiotic gun laws, as a matter of fact. That is the major contributor to police deaths. It's guns, okay? But God forbid we do anything about that shit. Now, having said that, the mass availability of weapons in an arsenal is the #1 reason as to why cops have somewhat of a dangerous job. You're contradicting yourself? No, I'm not. I'm simply stating the reality that policing is not the most dangerous job. It's not even the top 20 most dangerous jobs in the United States of America. And regardless of whether or not it is even remotely dangerous as a job, it still should not give you an allowance to carte blanche kill people extrajudiciously. That is my argument. Carpenters can't just fucking roll up to your house and dome you and then go, sorry, I have a dangerous job. I had to fucking kill you. But cops, we give that affordability to them. We're like, nah, what else can they do? They have to, you know? See, but this is the real reason. Carpenters do not need to respond to violence in the hood. And there you have it. This is the other reason as to why people think like, oh, dude, policing is a dangerous job, because they're dealing with black people, and black people are violent and scary. That's the other reason why Americans love cops. They are the first line of defense against poor people and also specifically black people. That's not what I meant. What did you mean? Is violence in impoverished areas non-existent? Of course it's not non-existent. I would never say that it's non-existent. The problem is, despite the violence in impoverished areas, policing, not the most dangerous job. That's the point. Actually, you're assuming Hood is full of black people. Yeah, you're right. If he said carpenters don't need to respond to violence by thugs, I would be the racist one for assuming what he meant. What are we doing here? Did the Joe Rogan brigade bring in the dumbest people on the planet? What the fuck's happening? You think this is my first time with like racially charged language? What are you, fucking stupid? Delivery drivers famously don't deliver fucking goods to the hood. Yeah, statistics from the FBI and Officer Down Memorial page, around 50 to 60 police officers are fatally injured in the line of duty each year in the U.S. By gunfire. This includes deaths due to felonious assaults, while 1,000 civilians are killed by the police each year in the U.S. This includes justified killings in self-defense or defense of others, as well as controversial or unjustified incidents. Calling people racist who call out dog whistles is crazy work. I know. Like, yeah. Cops also kill like what, 10,000 dogs a year or some shit? Something crazy. Like an insane number, like a lot more than you would think. It's actually fucking nutty. Can you imagine if the delivery guy did that? Like the delivery guy comes over to your house. He's like, here's your package. Oh shit, I'm scared by your dog. Boom, domed your fucking dog. That would be ridiculous. You'd be like, what the fuck? Congress would act tomorrow. Congress would be like, we are putting an end to this yesterday. Are you fucking kidding me? More than just collateral damage, pet shootings by the police. Oh my God, the Department of Justice estimates that American police officers shoot 10,000 pet dogs in the line of duty each year. I mean, they kill 1,000 humans each year, 1,000 minimum. Read the last paragraph. Pet shootings can seriously damage public relations for law enforcement agencies, especially during an era when the news seems to be saturated with stories concerning police using excessive force against unarmed civilians. The American Civil Liberties Union even classifies pet shootings as one symptom of the increased militarization of American police forces. Additionally, lawsuits brought by bereaved owners can cost agencies and taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars. This article explores these and other related issues and presents simple solutions to help reduce the number of companion animal shootings by police in the United States. They're doing a pet genocide every year, bro. It's crazy. It is one of the most indefensible institutions. And it's so funny because unless you're directly a cop or have an immediate family member that is directly a cop, it's not benefiting you. Okay? Like, I'll tell it to you like this. The way that my relationship with police has changed throughout my life. And that is directly a consequence of the house that I live in, right? Like, if you are rich in general, cops absolutely treat you differently. Let me just explain that to you real quick. Okay, obviously there's other circumstances. Like if you're black, it doesn't really matter all that much. If you're black or brown, you know, objectively or openly black or brown, you can't really, you know, there's still a problem there. But even as a rich boy, okay, I pay a ton in taxes. And I despise the fact that a lot of those taxes at the state level, at the local level, a lot of that goes to policing. An institution filled to the brim with fucking corrupt charlatans who can't do their goddamn jobs right. I'm not saying, you know, just destroy the institution and just like put cops in prison or whatever the fuck, right? Like I do understand that there is a necessity for a democratically organized or not democratically organized, doesn't matter. Like some form of policing is a necessity for society to operate. Okay. Having said that, it is very obvious that the current order of business is a failure. I, as a tax-paying citizen, despite the fact that cops like treat me better now than they ever did in my entire life, still recognize that they're, one, dog shit at their fucking jobs, two, unnecessarily violent, and three, eating away at the budgets of the beautiful city that I'm in that I wish would spend money on the actual crime apprehension, which is, you know, fixing some of the underlying material inequalities, adding on to social services, having weekend programs, after school programs. Like these are phenomenally successful at reducing crime, especially in impoverished neighborhoods. That's what's really fucking annoying about this process. It's like it fucks you up too. Even if you're a rich person, okay, it still fucks you up. Street lights don't get fixed. The roads don't get fucking fixed. The library closes down. There could be better homelessness prevention programs in the city, but we don't have that because all the money is going to the fucking cops. It's stupid. Parks and recreations is like subpar. I hate that. I love my parks. Who benefits from this? If you're a person, regardless, if you're an American citizen that is not a police officer, you do not benefit from the current order, okay? You don't. But you've been primed into believing that these guys are like these brave fucking warriors that are diving in front of dicks before rapes happen or some shit. And that's not what's going on.